Hello, I'm Donna Boyle, a medium and direct messenger for Spirit. Spirit knows what we are ready to receive at this time for our soul's growth. Spirit always knows best. The real question for all of us is, are we ready to hear the message? Thank you for joining all of us today. Would you state your first name for me?
Michelle.
Thank you. And now will you state the first name of your loved one who you'd like to link to in spirit world?
Barbara.
Barbara feels like that friend that everybody wants to have. Everybody wants a friend named Barbara. Everybody wants you, Barbara. I had to even, I know my listeners can't see, but I have to like move my body to the right here because she came in and just went, I'm such a good friend, aren't I? She's such a good friend. Isn't she, Michelle?
That doesn't make sense.
Okay, thank you. There's that maybe. She's coming in as I feel like it could be my best friend. She's just that sort of, I could talk about anything with you. I could just sit here beside you. I'll listen to you. She's a great conversationalist. Any of that making sense?
That actually makes sense. And yes, I would call her my best friend.
You would call her your
I would call her my best friend,
okay.
But she's not my friend.
There you go. That's how spirit works.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But to me, she's like, wow, this person is like a best friend to everybody.
Yes.
So open, so receiving. What do you need to know? She's like, Donna, what do you need to know? And I said, I don't need to know anything. I want to talk to you, Barbara. I want to talk to you. And I feel that maybe in this life, she wasn't used to that. She wasn't maybe used to people always asking her about her. She was more about what can I do for you? Would that make sense, Michelle?
Yes, that absolutely makes sense. She was the one that everybody came to for their problems. And she gave the best advice.
Yay. So you're getting how this works.
Yes.
She was older, but I don't think she was elderly. I consider elderly like when my mom passed, which is 88. Anything above 88 to me is elderly. So she would have crossed prior to that age. Would that be correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And I feel, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Is it okay if I give the age?
No, not yet. Let's see.
Okay. Okay.
Let's see. Just enough that you confirm that is perfect.
Yes. Okay.
I feel a little bit of something in my stomach, but I feel that she wasn't sick for too long. It wasn't a quick crossing, but she wasn't sick for too long. Does that make a little bit of sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
Thank you. And the stomach thing, is that?
It was hip.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel uncomfortable. That's how I'm stating it. Uncomfortable in that stomach area.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe.
That's absolutely okay. I appreciate that. Would you agree that during we'll say the last few days, she wasn't able to sit up or stand up? She was more in the reclined position.
That is correct.
She had a smile to the end though, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
Just to give you a little context here, she jumps between the different areas of her life, how she was before she crossed, how she was right as she crossed. And then as she's like showing me herself laying on the bed and I've got that stomach thing going on, she like picks her head up and just puts this big smile on her face. And I'm like, oh, that's funny.
Mm-hmm.
If you could see what's going on in my head, you would have said the same thing, Michelle.
Yeah.
Big smile on her face.
Yeah.
There were some people around her, but not many people around her. I'm looking to my left constantly, and I don't know what that means yet. Some people around her when she made that final crossing, she said, some people in the physical world, she's telling me, but many people in the non-physical world were there to meet me.
Yes, that absolutely makes sense. And when you say
Just breathe. That's okay. Just breathe.
Looking to your left, I was holding her left hand.
Ah, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was holding her left hand when she passed away.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah, it was. It was very beautiful.
I'm tearing myself right now because she keeps like lifting her head up and smiling. And I'm like, you're supposed to be dying. You're not supposed to be lifting your head up and smiling. But she has such that sense of humor where nothing really bothered her. She's like, yeah, this is happening. Well, let's see how funny this could be. Let's create some humor out of this situation. Does that make sense?
Maybe.
She's funny. Let me just say that she's funny now. If she wasn't funny in physical, she's really making a go of it now. Do you understand? She's like joking with Donna.
Mm-hmm.
Her spirit already knows. Spirit knew days ago, weeks ago, months ago that we were going to have this experience. So she had a long time to figure out who Donna is.
Okay.
And the funny things to do to Donna. So that to Donna in her head was funny.
Okay.
She purposely makes me turn to the left. And Donna has to say, right? I'm the one that has to say, I keep turning to my left.
Right.
And that makes you say what you say. So just a little background on
Okay.
how this works.
Okay.
Were you the only one there at the time of her crossing?
No, I was not.
But were other people then standing?
There was 2 other people in the room.
But no one was sitting that close to her,
Yes, my sister was holding her right hand.
her other hand.
Yeah, and my brother was at her feet.
For some reason, though, she's singling you out. Not that she didn't notice they were there, but singling you out. Would you have been maybe, oh, I hate to say this, her favorite?
Well, I think so, but she made us all feel like we were her favorite. But I always say, but I really was the favorite.
Of course, you see how funny she is? You see what
Yeah.
it took to tell that joke. I don't like saying that, but she made it a joke. Thank you, Barbara.
Yeah.
All the people, all the other souls, family, friends that were in the world of non-physical when she crossed, waiting for her. A lot of people were applauding her there, like applauding the life that she lived when she was in the physical world. There were many people in the non-physical world, I'll say it one more time, in the non-physical world, they weren't applauding because they were happy to see her, like, finally you're here. No, not like that. They were applauding her life, a life well lived. Would you agree with that, Michelle?
Yes. Yes, I would agree with that.
Not singling anyone out in the non-physical world, but I feel there's a mix of men and women over there that waited for her.
Yes. Yes, for sure. I definitely think my brother Johnny was there waiting because she had a dream that she saw him
Yeah.
in her dreams.
There are many ages. There's just a crowd. There's a crowd. I can't single anyone out.
Yes. Yes.
Was she religious, Michelle?
Not really.
Did she believe that you went through the gates, the pearly gates? Did you ever find her saying anything like that? Or are they just being funny? Like, we had to take her through the pearly gates because that's what she wanted to see.
Maybe being funny for her. She definitely believed in an afterlife.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the pearly gates. That doesn't make sense to me right now.
I think it's a joke.
Okay.
Because they all just like lifted her and said, all right, I guess we got to take her through the pearly gates because that's what she thinks is going to happen here.
Okay.
You know, instead of just crossing.
Mm-hmm.
But there were so many of them in on this joke. There were so many of them telling me about the pearly gate. And it could be some sort of metaphor, you know, for this is what she perceived as what you have to do. Cross the bridge, go through the gates before you reach the world of spirit, the afterlife. When I'm like, it's here.
Yeah.
You didn't have to go across a bridge. You didn't have to go through any gates. So maybe in her head before she was thinking, there's a bridge that you cross. There's a path that you have to, that leads to the afterlife.
Mm-hmm.
No, there isn't. Any of that making sense? I feel like I went into a big story there.
You know, it's not ringing a bell, but it may later.
That happens a lot.
Yeah.
Again, the humor that runs through that whole area of them there. This is your mother, clearly, yes?
Yes.
And your father, I don't see. Is he not in the physical world?
He's in the non-physical world.
Were they together? Was there a time when they were apart? Did they cross a very long chunk between?
No, it was 3 years between my mother and my father passing.
And they were together.
They were together. As my mother said, maybe not necessarily happy years, but they were together.
Okay. She's like, I'm just going to go. I don't really worry about looking for him. I'm just going to go. And he could be in that crowd of people. There is a crowd of people. You and your siblings are close together in age.
Yes.
Is the brother the middle child, or does he feel like, I'm like sandwiched between these two women, regardless of when I was born?
No, he was the oldest.
Because I'm viewing the scene. And when I view a scene like that, and his higher self starts to come into the reading, I'm like, well, let me just see if this is correct. There's something about him, though, that says, I want to be part of this. I want to be part of this. But there's something about him that's just no good, bad, right, or wrong. There is none of that.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a way that you can now going forward, because this is why it comes up sometimes, that you can now go forward and think, let me talk to him and see how he's doing. Do you understand?
Right. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I'm going to let that go then. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Your mom again. She's like, boy, did I just want to run and dance and sing. And I don't know if that was her whole life or right before and she started getting ill and you're just like, I just want to get up, and she couldn't.
Yes, that absolutely makes sense. Near the end of her life, she had issues with her hip, and it was difficult for her to walk, and she was in a lot of pain.
Yeah, she really wanted to. She really just wanted to run, dance, and sing.
Mm-hmm. Right. And she loved to dance.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Do it all. She says, but you know what, honey? Guess what you can do in the afterlife?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm getting that big band sort of feeling with her, like big band. You get what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
she's out there dancing on the floor with the flowy dress. Was that the type of music that she liked, or this is just like pomp and circumstance? There's a lot going on.
She liked all kinds of music, but yes, when we were kids, big band was her type of music that she always listened to.
That's where she's going. She went right back to that.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Not as we got older, but when we were younger kids, that was the music. When we were playing records, that's what she always had playing. So that does make sense, Donna.
A great confirmation from her. She's like,
Mm-hmm.
that was the most freeing time of my life. I felt the best emotionally and physically. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Her mother is in the non-physical world.
Yes.
Your grandma.
Mm-hmm.
She was there at the bedside. Everybody else was in the afterlife. She was there at the bedside in soul form, hanging out with your mom. I feel she patted her head. Was your mother sweating or feverish or anything? Do you know? It feels like she patted her forehead. To me, it means something like, she has that washcloth, when you're feverish and your mom just puts the washcloth on your head.
Well, my mother used to put washcloths on her head when she had headaches.
Oh. What do you think? That's just something, her way of saying?
It could have been, maybe my mom wasn't feeling good, so my grandmother put the washcloth on her head.
Yeah. That way about them, right, moms?
Mm-hmm.
That was very comforting. Your mom felt that also. Take a breath. She clearly is fine now. Did she cross under 10 years? She hasn't been there that long. Is that correct?
No, it will be 16 this year.
Wow. I didn't get that. She feels just like so close, so happy, so giddy. I attribute that to I haven't been here this long. I'm still kind of getting used to this. And so it seems like, as she reflects this back to me, it seems that maybe that's the way she was. She just got there and went, I'm good. I'm here. What's there to do? Show me what to do. I figured it out.
Yeah.
I'm just so happy. I'm just so giddy.
Yeah, that sounds like her.
She did fine. She did absolutely fine. What's the phone thing? Is there something with the phone thing going on with one of you guys? She's coming through in a phone.
Right. It could be. My brother still uses her phone number.
Oh, well, that could be it then. You see how she acknowledges that.
Yeah.
That's what it is. She's acknowledging that.
Hmm.
And does she also have allergies?
Not that I'm aware of.
She's telling me allergies. She's telling me I got that seasonal going on, springtime, stuffy, runny. She had that a little bit.
I just started getting seasonal allergies in the last 2 years.
Uh,
Never had them before.
she had something of that. Okay. Any questions about what we've talked about?
Can I ask her a question?
Absolutely.
What does she think of her grandchild?
Oh, can you say the grandchild's name for me?
Noah.
He's a runner. Yeah. He's like active.
He's active. He's never home. Hmm. Yeah, he's never home.
Runner I met running around doing a lot of things.
Hmm. Yeah.
She's like, nobody can keep up with him. She said when he was a child, he was easier to talk to when he was younger.
Yes.
He's a teen now, but under 20.
Yes.
She says, I can only watch now because talking isn't part of our deal anymore. He doesn't stand still long enough for us to chat. But of course, he's a beautiful soul. He's definitely puts it out there. He puts out who he is. Do you understand that?
Absolutely. Yes.
He doesn't hide anything. This is who I am. Don't tell me to be anything different. This is who I am. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
I want to use the word like unassuming, but I don't even know what that means. It's like something she's using.
Yeah.
He's an unassuming child.
Yes.
I'm interpreting that as he just is who he is. And
Yes.
this is what I'm going to do.
Okay. So my son is trans.
Mm-hmm.
So that speaks to that 100%,
Yeah, there you go.
that I am who I am and this is who I am.
Yeah, unassuming.
I would like to expand a little bit on the talking to him. So when he was 2, when my mom passed, and he used to tell me he would see her. And then up until about 6, when I would ask, so did you see Nana today? And he would say, yep, she was here. And then he would tell me where he saw her. But then around 6 years old, he started saying, no, he didn't see her anymore.
Mm,
And that be maybe as he got older, she couldn't talk to him anymore.
exactly. He was a lot easier to talk to when he was a child.
Yeah.
6 years old is pretty much the time where they start taking off on their own.
Yeah.
And you either continue that relationship with spirit, she's always there, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
or you just keep going. You just keep going and being and doing what you need. But kudos to you for continually asking him and making it feel safe
Mm-hmm.
and making it as normal as you could. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she was definitely talking. That was definitely her. There's no doubt about that. And she honors every part. Again, this part of him that just says, I'm going to be who I'm going to be, regardless. And he will go far, she says. He will go far. He will be the sort of person that has his hands in everything, every sort of thing that's possible. If he likes it, he's going to do it. If he likes it after that, he's going to study it. If he studies it and keeps on going and he likes it, then he's going to do it for a long period of time. He'll just keep going with something, but he tests the waters, she says. He'll test something. Okay, someone told me to do that. All right, I'm going to try it. If I like it, I'll keep going. If I don't, I'm not. Very black and white when it comes to that first part.
Mm-hmm.
And then if he likes it, he's like, oh yeah, he feels it from his head to his toes. Does that make sense?
Yes, that absolutely makes sense. Because when he does like something, he wants to just do better at it and continue to do better at it.
Mm.
And if he doesn't, it's a struggle.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean? I should be good at everything.
Mm-hmm.
He'll figure that out. This is just part of his growth. There's nothing that you have to say to him at that point. Like, okay, maybe it's not meant for you, or maybe you just have to try harder, or maybe we have to practice this way. Don't even bother. He's just going to figure all of that out himself because that's who he is. He doesn't want anybody telling him who he is.
That's for sure.
She says, I'll never lose sight of him, no matter how far he runs. She's a busy woman there, though.
A lot of people loved her, and there's
Yeah.
a lot of people there.
Yeah, she's a busy woman.
Mm-hmm.
Your mom is more, I got to talk to everybody I know. I got to be out there and communicate. I'm not just going to sit still and play cards. I want to be everywhere. Now you get where your son gets it.
Mm-hmm.
He's a runner, and she was that, and she is that now.
Mm-hmm.
Again, she said, you can't lose him, and I can't lose him. He'll always be a part of all of our lives. She said, like, I feel that worriness, like my brow starts to furrow here. I feel this worriness that he might go so far, you will not speak again for a while, or go so far that he doesn't need you. Any of that?
That is spot on, because that's how I feel. Like, he's at the age where he doesn't need me to go to the doctors with him anymore. He doesn't need me to do all these things that I feel like, you don't need your mother anymore, which he does, but it's how I feel. Like, he's growing up and he doesn't need me as much.
I feel that as mothers. I think we feel that.
Right.
You did great. Your mom's saying you did so great. Even the moments when you thought, what the hell did I do to deserve this? She said, I don't know why you said that to yourself, because you did great. Everything you did was great. Do you accept that from her?
I needed to hear that. So yes.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Her mind keeps taking me back to the younger, when everybody was kids. She likes to go there a lot. So, put on that big band music when you really want her to dance with you.
All right. Yeah, I will do that.
She said, oh, I'll be there. I'll be there in a flash. Not like I'm never going to be there. I will be there always, but you put on that music and I'll be right there dancing with you.
I do get signs from her.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she can acknowledge any of those for me.
So the first thing I saw when you said that was balloons of some sort, things flying up, not of their own free will, bubbles, balloons, especially the color red. I am seeing as a red balloon. If I were to see that prior to you saying that, I might have thought, whose birthday is it coming? Is there a celebration coming? To me, red means that someone's celebrating something.
Well, my birthday is 13 days away.
Okay.
So maybe she's acknowledging that.
Yep, acknowledging that.
Oh, and she just had a birthday.
Her birthday was just recently?
Last week, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I love the way she said also, my interpretation of the balloon is things happening without any control, as getting older is.
Yes.
Good one.
Yeah.
I feel as far as signs, I'm seeing the red, just the red, the love of that. And I'll go back to something happening all by itself. I like the bubbles, some sort of bubble. Notice the bubbles.
Okay.
What is the bubbles? I also know that when you feel her close to you, if you see a sign and you feel her close to you, that's her.
Okay.
And you should never doubt that. She's always there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just when you see that sign. I'm always here. And I think that's our toughest thing, to recognize that they're right here all the time. We don't have to wait for that specific sign. It's great. Believe me, I love the signs too. But she's asking you to recognize she's always there. She's always right there. Don't wait for it.
Mm-hmm. Because I don't feel her as much as I used to. And whenever I say that, I get the signs all the time.
Yeah. And that's not her, that's you.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that we just suddenly let go of them for a bit. And you're like, oh, I didn't feel her. Was I not thinking about her? And then in she swoops.
Mm-hmm.
She's always there. It's always us. It's not them. They're always right here.
Yeah. Thank you, Donna.
You're welcome. To my guest this week, thank you for allowing me to be the link in these messages. And for all of you listening, we appreciate your appearance in the oneness. If you're interested in a reading for the show or a private reading with me, see the show notes for more info. Thank you for your rating and review of this podcast. Until next time.